Jake Paul stood inches from Anthony Joshua, eyes locked, jaw clenched, and the arena surged with a roar that felt like the walls might crack. No handshakes, no smiles, no mutual respect, just electric tension thick enough to slice through. Cameras flashed like lightning as security tightened their stance, anticipating the explosion everyone could feel coming. Jake leaned in first, talking fast, chin high, daring Joshua to break composure. Joshua didn't flinch. He just stared down, silent, towering, his expression carved from stone. The crowd erupted, sensing history in the making. This wasn't supposed to be just another publicity stunt. This was a collision of worlds, a global heavyweight icon facing a disruptive force who has spent years turning boxing upside down, proving people wrong while collecting names that no one believed he'd ever share a ring with. The moment they stood face to face, even skeptics fell silent, not because Jake had earned the respect of purists, but because he refused to shrink. He stood in front of one of the most decorated heavyweights of the modern era as if they were equals. Joshua finally spoke, his voice low and chilling. He warned Jake about playing in waters too deep, about stepping into a division built on power, discipline, and bloodshed. He didn't raise his tone. He didn't need to. The authority in his presence said everything. Jake fired back, insisting he wasn't intimidated, claiming the heavyweight throne has been sleeping and he's the one who came to wake it up. Fans screamed, security pushed in, and trainers scrambled to keep the two separated as bodies pressed forward to get closer to the moment. What fueled the chaos wasn't just their words, it was the stark contrast between them. Joshua, sculpted like a champion forged through years of grind, experience, and setbacks that built him into a hardened fighter. Jake, brash and unorthodox, chasing destiny with a mindset that thrives on being underestimated. Two completely different paths converged in one moment, creating a confrontation so raw that even veteran journalists paused before speaking. Joshua stepped closer, closing the already razor-thin distance, visibly agitated now. Jake smirked through it, hands behind his back like a man who came ready for psychological warfare. Every second felt like it could spill into a swing. Joshua's team urged him back, reminding him there's a time for the ring, not the stage. Jake used the separation to shout out a final challenge, insisting that all the belts, all the legacy, all the records mean nothing if Joshua can't put him down when it matters. The crowd wasn't just excited, they were divided. Some booed Jake relentlessly, calling him an outsider who had crossed the line one step too far. Others roared in support, loving every second of the chaos, convinced that his self-belief and relentless rise are exactly what boxing needs to stay alive. Joshua's supporters stood firm, chanting his name, daring Jake to try his luck. For the first time, the noise didn't tilt overwhelmingly in Joshua's favor. Jake brought an army with him. And beneath the noise lay a truth both men silently understood. There's real danger here. If this fight happens, Jake won't be stepping into the ring with another undersized opponent, older veteran, or fading contender. This would be a collision with raw heavyweight power, power known for ending careers, not just making headlines. But if he lands clean, if he shocks the world again, everything in boxing shifts instantly. Joshua becomes a stepping stone in a storyline no one predicted. That possibility is what makes this face-off explosive. The eyes of the boxing world are fixed now, not because the matchup is expected, but because it breaks every rule the sport has lived by. Legends don't face crossover stars. Heavyweights don't entertain risks that don't benefit their legacy. But tonight proved something. Public demand is louder than tradition, and both men feel the pull. When the face-off finally ended, they were dragged apart, still yelling past bodies and outstretched arms. Jake walked off smiling like he'd already won something intangible. Joshua walked away tight-lipped, fists clenched, giving a final look that promised punishment rather than participation. Nothing was signed on that stage, but it didn't matter. Everyone watching, fans, critics, broadcasters, even the fighters themselves, left knowing one thing. If these two ever share a ring, the world will stop to watch. Subscribe Fight Shire for more of this kind of content.